They will try to define you by what you run from. But the truth is, you are not defined by your fears. You are forged by what you refuse to surrender. This life is not a spectator sport. You don't get to wish your way to greatness. You don't climb the mountain by talking about the view. You fight for every inch. You become what you fight for. Because somewhere along the line, the world taught you to settle, taught you to lower your voice, shrink your dreams, and walk the beaten path. But what they never taught you, what they hoped you'd never remember, is that within you is the same force that built empires, split atoms, carved nations from deserts, and stared down the impossible until it surrendered. The man who refuses to give up becomes dangerous. The woman who refuses to accept almost as enough becomes unstoppable. And it doesn't matter where you come from. Your bloodline doesn't determine your boldness. Your past doesn't decide your potential. All that matters is what you're willing to fight for. When Thomas Edison was ridiculed, when his teachers told him he was too stupid to learn, he didn't shrink. He didn't retreat. He fought. He failed over 1,000 times to create the light bulb. People laughed, but he knew what most never dared to understand, that failure isn't a wall, it's a mirror. And in that reflection, he saw the man he was becoming. You're not here to hide from struggle. You're here to sharpen yourself against it. You're not here to chase comfort. You're here to rise again and again, like steel against fire, burning, bending, unbreakable. See, mindset isn't just a buzzword. It's the battlefield. The war is in your head before it's ever fought in the real world. Do you understand that? Every doubt that whispers, every voice that says you're too late, too weak, too small, is not your enemy. It is your training ground. It's the resistance you need to grow stronger. Henry Ford said, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." Not because it sounds clever, but because belief is the blueprint. Belief builds the world you walk into. It shapes what you allow. It sculpts your future with the precision of a master. So I ask you, what do you believe about yourself when no one is watching? When the lights are off and the world is quiet? Do you believe you are meant for something greater? Or have you already surrendered that vision to mediocrity? Because the truth is, vision dies not from failure, but from neglect. Dreams don't rot in the heat of resistance, they rot in the cold of indecision. Clarity is a weapon. The man who sees his future clearly fights differently. He doesn't waste time. He doesn't get lost in distraction. He is not seduced by short-term comfort because his eyes are locked on long-term power. Walt Disney was fired for lacking imagination. Imagine that. The man who redefined imagination itself was told he had none, and he could have listened. He could have swallowed their opinion and buried his dream, but he didn't. He saw something no one else could see, and because he believed it, the world eventually did too. Vision is not what you see with your eyes. It's what you feel with your spirit. It's the fire behind your ribs when the world says no and your soul says, "Watch me." But vision alone is not enough. A man with a dream but no discipline is a man carrying fire with no fuel. He burns out fast. Discipline is what separates those who hope from those who rise. It is the bridge between who you are and who you were born to become. It's the choice to show up when no one's clapping, to do the work when no one's watching, to train when everyone else is sleeping. Every legend, every icon, every name we carve into history bled for it. They didn't wish, they worked. They didn't complain, they carved. They didn't wait for motivation. They moved with purpose when the tank was empty, because they knew you become what you fight for. And if you're not fighting for something bigger than yourself, you'll fall for anything that makes you feel comfortable. You'll trade greatness for good enough. You'll settle when you should have sprinted, but not you. Not anymore. You see, the moment you commit, truly commit, the universe stops testing and starts revealing. Doors you never noticed begin to crack open. People you've never met begin to appear. The right mentor, the right moment, but none of it arrives until after the decision. Not the soft kind of decision that lives in your mouth. I'm talking about the decision that screams in your bones. The one you make with your fists clenched, with your soul roaring, I will not die with this fire inside me. Because the world does not respond to passivity. It bows to intensity. It kneels to certainty. And certainty is not arrogance, it's alignment. It's what happens when your mind, body, and spirit are all locked onto a single target. And when you operate from that place, the world has no choice but to move. But that clarity, that power, it doesn't arrive by accident. It is carved through sacrifice. It is born in the dark. In the early mornings no one sees. In the late nights you want to quit. In the silence when doubt pounds like a war drum in your chest. And you answer it with discipline. You think David beat Goliath because he was lucky? No. He beat him because he refused to be defined by fear. He beat him because he didn't see a giant. He saw a target. He saw what others wouldn't dare to see. The giants are only threats if you see yourself as small. So who are your giants? Debt, doubt, disease, addiction, betrayal, failure? Call them out, name them, and then decide. Are you going to fight for what's yours or keep surrendering to what's not? Because action, real, relentless action, is where dreams grow legs, where ideas take breath, where visions stop living in journals and start showing up in real life. Do not wait until you feel ready. You will never feel ready. Start anyway. Move anyway. Bleed anyway. The sword gets sharp through the cut. The warrior becomes strong through the war. And war is not something to fear. It's where you find out who you are. It's where your comfort dies and your calling begins. Elon Musk wasn't aiming to make money. He was aiming to move mankind forward. And because his aim was bigger than fear, he acted. He sacrificed. He risked everything, his name, his fortune, his peace. But what he gained was history. Legacy. A seat at the table of the bold. Let me tell you something few will. Comfort is the cage. Discomfort is the key. And if you run every time it gets hard, you're not just avoiding pain, you're avoiding power. Because pressure is what awakens potential. When the caterpillar dissolves inside the cocoon, it doesn't become a butterfly through ease. It becomes through destruction, through surrender, through pain. It breaks down so it can break open. That's what transformation looks like. And most people never transform because they're too afraid to let go of who they were. But not you, because you've seen it now. You've felt it, the pull, the roar in your chest that says, there is more to me than this. More than this job, more than this doubt, more than this cycle, more than this numb, muted, mediocre life. So burn the plan B, break the rearview mirror, because destiny is not behind you, it's ahead. And it only reveals itself to those bold enough to keep walking without a map. They'll call you obsessed. Let them. They'll call you arrogant. Let them. They'll say you've changed. Good. That's the whole point. Because growth is betrayal to the old you. And you owe that version of you no loyalty. You owe everything to the person you're becoming.